Hey rock stars, today is another episode of the Retail Leasing Playbook. I hope you're enjoying this podcast. If you are, it would mean the world to me if you would like and subscribe and share with others. So today we're going to talk about Chapter 22, A Social Media Presence is a Prerequisite for Success. So probably the majority of you have found your way to me through social media. So why in the world would you not also be using it when you've already seen it work in action? It is required for anyone that is 50 years old or younger, because that means you're going to be in the business for possibly another 10, 20, or 30 years, and it's going to be a huge part of your business and your life. I'm 59. I started getting involved in social media, I'm thinking about 5 or 6 years ago, when a leasing agent came up to me, Mackenzie, and said, I think that we should prospect through Facebook. And at the time, I wasn't on Facebook. I thought it was the most stupidest thing ever. And I kind of pretty much told her that. And then I thought, bad teacher, that's a terrible thing. So then I said, okay, you go ahead, hon, and let's see what happens. And she got a deal done about 8 days later. And that changed my opinion on social media forever. I am now very engaged on Facebook, very engaged on LinkedIn, doing pretty well with Instagram. I kind of play around with Twitter and am trying to figure out how to get some time in the day to try TikTok. So if I can do it by owning 6 properties, being a single mother of 2, I just wrote 2 books, and I travel the country teaching leasing agents how to lease space, there's no excuse for you to not find time to do it. So why do I think it's so important? Well, we all know that connections are one of the most valuable currencies in our trade, and social media is the single largest source of that currency. The ability to leverage thousands and thousands of people with one post is, incomparable, right? You could go to 10 ICSEs for the rest of the year and spend all of that money and all of that time, press and flesh, and within one post you could hit thousands and thousands of more people than all of those ICSEs combined. So I'm obviously a huge believer. The other things that why I think it's so important is you can provide value. You can be top of mind. If any of you follow Barry Wolf or Joshua Ladle on LinkedIn, you can see how much value they provide and how they have become top of mind in their categories. It also is a great way to find out if your prospects are interested, i.e. the story I told earlier about Mackenzie and Facebook. We do a lot of Facebook DMing, direct messaging, and get a huge return of investment on our time because we bypass the gatekeeper. So using social media for prospecting is great. Using social media to do research and build rapport. Prior to going to an ICSE, doing a little bit of research, social stalking to see where your prospect that you're meeting with went to college. How great would it be that if you found out that he went to the same college you did, or that your father went to? So having a launching point of some connection would be great, and you can find all of that out through Facebook. Additionally, we have found that reaching out to national retailers on LinkedIn is a great way to cut through the noise of their voluminous emails and get right through to them on LinkedIn. So if they're on LinkedIn, even if they're not posting, if they're checking, I find that they respond quicker to me on LinkedIn than an email. Let me say some of my pet peeves that I talk about in the chapter on social media. Don't post your listings without any comment. Instead, maybe do a video of your vacancy. Don't share an article without commenting or giving your opinion. That's not being active on social. And don't be silent. We call you guys lurkers, where you're silent and you're not doing any commenting on anyone's posts or putting out any of your own content. And lastly, don't think that this is a way that you can pawn off this activity to a niece who's 21. If you are going to be on social, it has to be in your voice. You have to do it. So I challenge you all for the next week, post one thing on social media. A young man came to me and he said, I've only been in the business a few months. I have nothing to add. I've not even done my first deal. And I said, well, what do you like to do? And he says, well, I like to read books. I said, great. Every Tuesday, post Tuesdays with Tim and talk about a book you're reading that week and 3 things you got out of it. That's all you need to do. Tuesdays with Tim Butterfield, he's been doing that now for I think about 3 years, and his audience has grown, and now he can talk about deals because he's done some. He can now compare what he's learned in the book to what he used in the field to get the deal done. So there's a lot of different ways, whether you're a newbie or you're a vet. Certainly, if you're a vet, you've got just a world of content to post. So good luck. I hope to see a lot of you posting out there. And again, if you like the Retail Leasing Playbook podcast, I would love for you to subscribe and share it with your friends and push the like button. Thanks, Rockstars. See you next week.